Gentlemen, how's it going? How are you all doing? Gentlemen and Mackie. How's it going, Mackie in chat? Here we are. So we're continuing to shade this sequence. Really? Is it loud? Hold on a sec. Shouldn't be too loud, should it? I mean, it's on 35 there, which is normal. Maybe we need to crank it down on desktop a bit. How's about that? That should do it. That should do you. Okay, nice. Well, I don't know. I think I don't know about working in a studio. It's almost inaudible now. Okay, we'll turn it up a bit. All right. So according to the look, here's the bars. So my voice is here. And the music's down there. So it should be all right. Should be all right, surely. Anyway, let's do some work. Lower the headphone volume. I don't want to mess with it too much. Hold on a sec. Let's do something a little bit. Right, so there's your normal music volume. Can you hear that? I mean that seems alright. Anyway, let me know. Okay, obviously I'm looking at I'm looking at messages from about 20 seconds ago as well. That's really weird. Music is too low, really? So here's the settings, look. Hold on, let me make sure it's coming through the... Oh. What? Oh no, that's right though, isn't it? Yeah, that's right, okay. I mean, I can turn the volume on the music up to there. But I mean, according to this, the volume on the music is now incredibly loud and almost as loud as me, so... Yeah, okay. This is why I should never touch the volume. I had it perfect. I had it perfect before, for years! I had it perfect for years! Alright, well, we'll go with that. What's this? Oh, thank you very much. There is room for soup in my life. Thank you, Wiz. I'll buy some tomorrow. With that 15 bucks, I'll buy 15 bucks worth of soup tomorrow. Okay, right. So we'll go with this for music then. All right. We gotta put this extra shade. We gotta put this extra shade on. I'm gonna start with something easy. We'll do this bit under the nose here. I think the technical term for it is that bit under the nose. I wonder if it's because I have Skype on. I wonder if that's what's doing the whole messing the music thing up. Come on, there's no gaps there. Come on. Why, thank you. Favorite 80s Golden Age animator. Oatcoin, yeah, like invest in Oatcoin now, and then dump it. As for recent news on my end, there's been a heat wave in the UK for the past week and a half, 2 weeks maybe. Dump it. Yeah, it's been ridiculously hot over here. I think Ireland had the hottest temperatures in the history of Ireland last week, if I was reading the news right. Had the all-time high temperatures in Ireland, and roads were melting in England. So it's been a lot of fun, especially as I live and work in the attic room, which is designed to keep the heat in. So no heat escapes. All the heat that comes in stays in. And yeah, it was. Oof, I mean, it's reasonable today. It's 29 degrees in here right now, which is 84 Fahrenheit. 34, yeah. So it's 29 now, but it was getting up to 35, 36 at the heights of it. So I was surviving due to a piece of advice from Mackie, which was get a towel, stick it under the cold tap, and then just stick it over your shoulders. And yeah, because the towel is soaking wet, it takes a while. It takes quite a while for all the water to evaporate away. So that was keeping me fairly cool for like half an hour, 45 minutes. So that was good. That was good. You came here for animation tips. You've gotten cooling off tips instead. Oh, very OnlyFans friendly levels. Yeah, definitely. Oh, Rocketman's in Northern Ireland. Okay, yeah. Was it really like the hottest it's ever been then, or did I mishear that? Like, was it record-breaking temperatures in Ireland? Because I mean, you know, Ireland, England. We're not used to heat. We're not used to it. We're used to it being foggy and raining all the time. Not used to seeing the sky. So it's tough. It's tough for us. Crypto. I don't even know how we take crypto. We need someone technical like Mackie to look into that. But we will accept OtaKing certainly. Stick it in the freezer a bit as well. Oh, interesting. You've been watching Original Gundam. Nice. Nice, yeah. It's quite funny. It's like, obviously some of the animation's a bit outdated from like 1978 Gundam, but some of it's very nice, and main thing is you get all of the characters. The trio of movies that they did to retell the original series, they missed out the best character, Makoob. They missed him out. Makoob and his precious vase. Most important plot point in Gundam. So yeah, Makube was missed out, unfortunately, and a couple of other people here and there. So 26 to 27 outside. So I'm guessing inside it's going to be like, yeah, high 30s, I would imagine. Like what it was for me was if it was 26 outside, you could add 10 to that, so it would have been 36 inside. Zach also go though. I mean, I go for Zach. No Dawn's Island, indeed. Essential plot point. You can't miss that shit out. Oh yeah, I Senshi Tachi. I do that at karaoke every single time. Whenever I'm in Japan, which isn't often, I'll always do I Senshi Tachi. You have to do it with maximum soul and power. You have to break down and cry whilst you're singing it, and drop to your knees if you can, if you ever do I Senshi. $27 is normal for summer. Oof. 80s Lego anime. When I was a wee child in the 80s, Lego was a lot more limited than it is now. I had a few of the you know, space Lego sets when I was a kid. When I was in Germany for that Star Wars convention that me and Zach were invited to, we met an official Lego designer. Works for Lego, and it's his job to, you know, specifically for Star Wars. And I feel really bad because I've forgotten his name, but it was his job to, you know, look at a design from Star Wars. So I don't know, Trade Federation donut ship or whatever, and figure out what Lego pieces you need to build that, how to make the best looking one, if they need to, you know, do any special like custom pieces to make it, that kind of thing. And it was quite impressive. His work was quite impressive. He'd done a lot of the famous ones, and he hung around with me and Zach a lot in the green room drinking coffee and stuff. How do you deal with too much procrastination? Start a Patreon. Start a Patreon, then you can't procrastinate because you owe people updates every week. Hello. Hello there. Whoa. Well, thank you very much. $50? That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will use those $50 to buy ice cubes and flick them at myself. And I'm glad that you enjoy the animation style. $50. That's a lot of money in today's money. Yeah, much appreciated. Yes, yeah. Start a Patreon for a hentai game. I hear that what you could do is do like a yandere simulator or something like that, and just like rake in the Patreon money whilst doing very little to to work on the game. It is crazy. Like, I'm not having a go at the Yandere Simulator guy, and I don't know anything firsthand. It's just I watched a bunch of videos on the drama behind it, which was quite funny. But yeah, it is crazy the amount of projects these days that never really they get off the ground, but they never get finished. They're just in limbo forever. Projects that get funded and nothing happens with them, and I guess no one ever gets a refund. And I mean, that goes all the way up to you know, multi-million pound or multi-million dollar projects like is Star Citizen ever going to come out, for instance? Is that ever going to be finished? I think it might just be in it might be early access for all time, maybe. Yes, I would like from McDonald's some fries, medium fries. I'd like a quarter pounder, please, but with no pickles. Paprium actually came out eventually, didn't it? I think that was actually released. That was a big controversy for a while, though, wasn't it? That everyone working on it was kind of bitching at everyone else. And hello. Some nuggies. You want? Have you saved up enough good boy points, Maggie? A Pumpkin Man game. Well, there's already a Pumpkin Man game. It's called It's called Cauldron 2. That's what Pumpkin Man comes from. But yeah, that's what we want. We've had, you know, the Streets of Rage 4 and Wonder Boy updates and stuff like that. We need a Cauldron 2 update. Modern graphics, Pumpkin Man song. Fantastic. Thank you, nameless guy from Italy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So I don't know if this affects anything, but I did release that VR Chat arcade world on VR Chat, and that's been doing pretty good numbers. Like, a lot of people have been stopping by on Twitter and saying how much they enjoyed it and stuff like that. So I think that's like VR Chat people who don't even know that I do animations and whatnot. So I don't know if anyone's watching this stream that has come in from the whole VR Chat arcade world thing. But hello, if so. And yeah, I do animations. I'm doing some now. Look, this is what I normally do. Extra grease and extra sauce. Oh, well, I mean, you can become like me one day. I hope you don't become completely like me, sitting in your attic room, sweating, living off cans of cherry coke. But yeah, you definitely can. How often do I stream? Every Friday at midnight UK time, which is this time wherever you are. Wherever you are, it's right now. That's the time that I stream. I do keep playing Stellaris and balancing my economy. Mackie calls me and she just hears clicking in the background and it's just me balancing my economy. Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, since you donated $5, maybe we should. Maybe we should. We'll have to see what Mackie says. Since Mackie's the events coordinator, Mackie drives the bus to all the events. Mackie, do you wanna meet up at the arcade after? So I don't know if you know this about Mackie. She has an Oculus, not an Oculus, a Quest, an Oculus Quest headset. So what the Quest does is that it's a little bit underpowered, so you can't actually get to a lot of the worlds in VR chat because they're built for PC, and the Quest is a little bit more lightweight, from what I understand. So Mackie has a Quest, but in order to go to the arcade, she has to use desktop mode on PC, and so she goes in VR chat without VR, despite owning a VR headset if she wants to see the arcade, which is a bit tragic if you think about it. Now for me, I don't even own a VR headset, so I just go on desktop and just occasionally drop it to the arcade and say hello to people, converse about old games for a bit, and then get back to animating. My chat is set to live chat, so I feel like I'm missing some. Do you know about Homeworld? Yeah, I love Homeworld. Stellaris is good, isn't it? Stellaris. I feel like Stellaris kind of. The only problem with Stellaris is that it's super complicated to begin to get into, but once you do, then actually it becomes almost too simple in a way. I don't know, and the end game's a little bit, well, I've clearly won this 300 years ago and I don't really know why I'm playing for right now, because I clearly rule the universe at this point, kind of thing. But I mean, you can get around that by with the settings at the start. You can change the end game crisis years and stuff, can't you? So you can tailor it, I think. You can tailor it. Yeah, I especially love the first Homeworld, and I'm not a huge fan of Homeworld 2 and the remaster of Homeworld and stuff. I really like the mechanics of the original Homeworld and the story and everything, and even Cataclysm was pretty good. But I mean, nothing really. It's kind of lightning in a bottle. Like, nothing came close to the original Homeworld, I don't think. Oh, how about some Outrun? Star Sector. I did play Star Sector. I did play Star Sector, yeah, but I kind of ran out of things to do after a while. I had a really big fleet, and I was able to pretty much beat anyone. Although I'll tell you what I couldn't do, and that was pilot my own ship. I was doing everything from, the tactical map mode. There's no way I could pilot my ship on keyboard and mouse. There was no way. So I just issued the orders like a Legend of the Galactic Heroes admiral, and everyone followed them, and it was great. And I played a lot of Kerbal Space Program. But the problem with any game, for me, is that if it's good, I'll play it a lot, but I don't really have time to play it a lot because I really need to be animating because it's just me and Mackie. So we need to do the work of a whole studio. So yeah, I kind of need to put all the time into animating. Indeed. No, I haven't played Elite Dangerous, but I loved original Elite on the Commodore 64, and then later in life, when I got a PC, I played First Encounters and what is it? Yeah, First Encounters. So Frontier, Elite 2, and then First Encounters, which was kind of like Elite 3. And oh yeah, that was First Encounters especially was just. This is open world. This is open world space gaming. And so many games came out after that that couldn't do any of the stuff that you could do in the Elite games. It was kind of mind-boggling. Like, why can't you land on planets in these games? Why can't you go mining in these games? You could do this in Elite on the Amiga in 1995. What the hell? Well, 1994 rather. And you had games coming out in the mid-2000s where you couldn't even do a fraction of those things. And I guess that was kind of the promise with Elite Dangerous, wasn't it? You'll be able to do all of that stuff, and I haven't been keeping up with it, so I don't know if you can do all of that stuff. What about the 90s Battlezone, about the Cold War in space, real-time strategy, first-person shooter? Oh yeah. No, that's actually one of my favourite games. Battlezone 2 Combat Commander, I think, isn't it? The upgrade to it. Yeah, that is fantastic. And again, why didn't people do more of that? Why didn't people do more of that kind of thing? You can jump out of your tank anytime and run into a bunker and command everything real-time strategy style. What a brilliant idea, and it works so well. It works so well. It's just seamless. Yeah, I love the music as well. There's is it Space Dock? There's a channel that uses the main theme from Battlezone 2, and every time I'm reminded of it. Hello! Starlancer on the PC. I played Freelancer, and again I was like, well, these graphics are great, you know, at the time. But I was thinking, why can't I land on these planets and do even a tiny fraction of the things that I could do in Elite on the Amiga? I hear that people like Death Stranding. But I haven't played it. Dante's Inferno. See, my thoughts on Dante's Inferno are, isn't it the Divine Comedy it's from, isn't it? So it was, isn't it like the original fan fiction? The original work of fan fiction, which was then kind of incorporated into the official Catholic Church. So it's a very interesting and weird historical oddity. But you're probably talking about a game, I imagine. Yeah, Freelancer. Freelancer was really good stuff, but I just wish that you could have. I never completed it because the final mission was a real mess, as I recall, and I couldn't do it. But yeah, I just wish you could have done more stuff in it. I liked it. I like Freelancer, but you can tell where some corners were cut. Definitely, like a lot of repeated voices. You got what? Like your 4 different factions that are meant to be 4 different countries, but that have moved into space. but none of them like have the proper accents and stuff, as I recall, and a lot of them say the same things even though the character models are different. You mean the PS3 game? No, I haven't played it. You could land on planets, get out of your ship, and play all FPS and no tactical stealth stuff. Oh, okay. Just changed. It just changed. Yeah, Elite Dangerous is one of those which it's been in development for years, but I'm gonna wait until it's completely done to play it. I've been playing, well, not recently, but a few months ago I was playing, there's a new one that's out. I think it's early access still, they're still working on it. It's called Space Haven, and it's a 2D, very much, graphics very much inspired by the old XCOM, wow, I can't talk today. By the old XCOM games, you know, isometric. It's not an XCOM style game. It's a you build your spaceship and go into space. It's kind of like FTL, but more strategy based and more kind of base building. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like, I really enjoy what's there, but they really need to add more stuff to it. Because at the moment it's kind of, well, I don't know if they've updated it in the past month or two, but at the moment it seems to be very much, it's quite repetitive, but you've got the basis of a really, really solid game there though, I think. Space Haven, someone else has played Space Haven. I think all this mech talk is probably it's all flying over Mackie's head. What I would love, this will never happen, but a man can dream. What I would love is a movie or a super high budget OVA done now, and you get the specialist in every single field to work on that particular aspect of it. So, you know, you get, let's say we get the two best mech designers, two best character designers, Yoko Kanno does music. You know, just get the top people, all the best voice actors. Money no object. I'll pay for it when I'm rich. I've never played that. My favorite XCOM game is I mean, it's still going to be the original, but maybe Terror from the Deep. Terror from the Deep's really good as well. The remakes were way better than I expected them to be, but obviously they were pretty shallow compared to the originals. They've taken a lot of the stuff out because, you know, that was PC gaming in the 90s, and people aren't gonna go for that amount of pissing about. People probably wouldn't go for now. having to change every single clip yourself, having to buy every single clip of ammunition yourself, you know. But I loved that. I built entire bases in XCOM that were just warehouse bases so that I could fit all of my stuff in. But I mean, you can't even build bases in the in the remake, can you? But damn, the graphics are nice. So there is that. But it does make you wish, why can't we have the best of both worlds? But that was the thing about computer gaming back then, is that a relatively small team could make something from their bedroom, and they didn't have to constantly show it to publishers, and the publishers go, all right, take this out, our focus group says it needs more of this. You know, you didn't really have any of that. So there was much more freedom, and everything was much... There weren't multi-million-dollar advertising budgets and shareholders to worry about, I guess, is what I'm saying. Oh, you watched it? M66. Yeah. Oh, I really like it. The story isn't amazing, but it's certainly a visual treat for the eyes. There we go. We've activated him. Rick was always trying to get me to play Super Robot Wars, but I refused because it was in Japanese, and he was like, it doesn't matter, you know the story already, you've seen all the series that are in it. But you know, I wanted to know how all these characters were interacting with each other. That would have been part of the charm for me, so I never played it because it wasn't translated. Super Robot Wars Final was Rick's big one. He really loved Final because it had like all of the best series in it. And I mean, that's another thing, like if I played any of the recent ones, it would just be filled with series that I haven't seen and don't care about, is the problem. Whereas Super Robot Wars F kind of era, I've seen everything. I've seen everything from those. But I mean, I guess some of them are getting translated now. Yeah, Zabungle and Gunbuster, Space Terrible Monster Crowd, Gundam 0080, Dragonar. Yeah, UFO Defense. It was just called UFO over here, I think. Wasn't it? UFO Enemy Unknown, I believe. And it was called XCOM in the US. Yeah. I didn't play it when it came out because I didn't have a PC, and it never came out for the 8-bit systems. But I did play it years later because Zach kept going on about it. Zach kept telling me how amazing this XCOM game was that he used to play. And yeah, he was right. It's amazing how much atmosphere you can get out of limited graphics. Like just the gameplay alone is geared. It's just geared for suspense and tension. Like those those terror missions that you have to do at night. Oof. Ooh. So what I really wish is we could have something like that with the graphics of the remake. That would be perfect. So Yeah, regarding the earlier question, there's a new... Have you heard about this, Mackie? There's a new He-Man out. Kevin Smith, who did Clerks and stuff. Kevin Smith, who... again, only second-hand knowledge here, so... People have asked him before in tweets and stuff if he used to like He-Man, and he's been like, nah, it was shit. That shit sucked. Like, I had no interest in He-Man growing up. And then Netflix approached him to do a He-Man show, and suddenly all his tweets are, I grew up watching He-Man and I loved it. It's like, oh, come on, dude. Come on. You know that people can read old tweets. Come on, don't do that. And, yeah, people are a bit mad because it's one of those, oh, I hope you like your expectations being subverted. Which, as regular viewers may know, I don't like my expectations being subverted at all. I don't want my expectations to be subverted ever again as long as I live, actually. But supposedly, it's called He-Man. He-Man's in it for about 10 minutes and he dies frequently. So it's kind of... It feels, from what I've heard, it feels like it's made by people who really hate He-Man and want to have a go at He-Man. I mean, it doesn't matter one way or the other to me because I never really watched the cartoon. I was watching cool stuff like Transformers, so I don't care. But I mean, I think it is. If that's true, I think that's remarkably bizarre that you would make a show just to piss on the main character like that. Like, I don't really understand what the point is of deliberately trying to annoy fans. But I mean, you know, big companies, they have different priorities and their brains work differently to mine, I'm sure. Yeah, Kevin Smith. I don't know if He-Man says fuck in it, but it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, He-Man was nothing special. Like, I was never... And it was on TV when I was growing up, so it's just I didn't really have any nostalgia for it, is the thing. There were much better things on. But I do think that it does have some very iconic designs. It has some iconic characters. Obviously, Skeletor's fantastic. So the idea of a reboot, like making it kind of, I guess, gritty. They don't need He-Man to say fuck all the time, but make it a bit more realistic could be good. It's no Captain Scarlet, no. Skeletor did have a good design. It's just, it's a shame that, you know, like cartoons, like all cartoons at the time really, he could never win because he was the bad guy. I mean, Japan understood that the bad guys have to win sometimes for there to be any stakes. And yeah, it would have been nice to see Skeletor win a couple of episodes. Ah, well, I'm glad you asked because I have been considering doing it. I have been considering doing a short, very short, because you know what I'm like when I say I'll do a short thing and it turns into 20 minutes. Like, I mean 30 seconds. A 30-second Transformers G1 style, you know, with Transformers the movie levels of detail short would be really, really good. Like, that would be something I'm very interested in. Oh yeah. Yeah, hold on. I can bring that up now, actually. Let me just find it. Oh yeah, I watched A Quiet Place Part 2 last night. That was alright, I guess. It wasn't as good as Part 1, but it was alright. Where would it be? There you go. Transformers postcard.jpg. So here's a Transformers postcard that we did. Look, it's the guys. It's the boys on a road trip. You take a selfie in front of each planet you conquer is the idea. So what I want is, I'm going to do something like this with this level of detail, except it's fully animated for like 30 seconds, I guess. A little too quiet. A little too quiet, maybe. Well, come on, you must have seen Transformers the movie. You must have enjoyed Transformers the movie. Like, I only have interest in G1 Transformers. Like, I'm not really interested in any of they try to update it and do spin-offs and stuff, and nah. I just wish it was like the movie the whole time. Bah. Yeah, that's one of the best animated sequences I've seen. A Starscream getting killed. What a fantastic death scene. And I mean, do I have to play it again? Hold on, I'm gonna play it again. Hold on a second. I'm gonna play it. If I can find it. I know it's in here somewhere. Alright, I'm gonna play it. No one can say they don't like Transformers the movie after seeing this. I mean, just imagine the amount of time. Imagine. That's some of the best mechanical animation I've ever seen right there. That's so beautiful. I'm shedding a tear right now. Like, imagine having to shade each one of these frames. It's like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 5-tone shading. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. It's just absurd. It just keeps going. Okay, that's fine then. You can, like, as long as you appreciate the technical quality, that's alright. I mean, to be fair, they spent all the money on the first half of the movie, and probably that sequence in particular, and it loses a lot of the quality by the end. But good lord, yeah, if you're going to front load something, I guess that's the way to do it. Em will argue about anything though. What's the name of that movie? That was Transformers the movie from 1986, I believe. No, you couldn't do that today. I mean, for one thing, they just 3D that. I mean, why wouldn't you? Literally, most people watching wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a 3D Unicron and a hand-drawn one like that. So yeah, they just 3D it. Excellent. No, this is TVPaint that I'm using. Yeah, the opening, again, G.I. Joe is one of those that they kind of spent the budget on the opening, and yeah, that opening battle looks great. Imagine if the whole thing looked like that the whole time. Yeah, it's a little bit sad that Japan outsources now. Speaking of 3D, I watched Girls and Panzer, the movie, well, the film. I watched the Girls and Panzer movie the other day, and I quite enjoyed it. So there you go. My opinion is now worth nothing. And if ever I say something that any of you disagree with, you could say, yeah, but you liked the Girls and Panzer movie, so what use are you? You have to embrace the 3D. If you're gonna watch a 3D film, like, you just have to embrace the 3D. It took me, I watched Girls and Panzer the series, and for the first half of the show I was thinking to myself the whole time, I wish these tanks were hand drawn, I wish these tanks were hand drawn. I just wish these tanks were hand drawn. But then eventually you realise, well, it's never going to happen, we're never going to go back. Just accept the shit, accept the trash, sink into the trash, make the trash your bed. The dumpster is your room now. And just enjoy it for what it is. And I did, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I like Girls and Panzer now. So everything in context. I'm the trash man. Yes, it's true. just make your bed in the trash if you want to enjoy modern anime. Three, 2, 1, let's go. I wish these hands were tank drawn. Problem with Girls and Panzer, apart from the 3D, and I mean, here's the thing, yeah, Girls and Panzer, the tanks were 3D, the characters were hand drawn, and so in the series, they used to hand draw, like, and it was kind of impressive how they would integrate the two. You'd have 3D tanks moving, you'd have 2D characters in the tanks moving alongside the tanks, and it was quite. It looked a bit jarring, but it was still kind of impressive how they did it. And then for the movie, they just switched to, you know, the Guilty Gear cel-shaded 3D look. So the 2D characters are now 3D. Which is kind of like, oh. I enjoyed watching jarring 2D characters inside 3D vehicles, actually. Why did you have to remove the final thing that I liked? So that's a problem. But another problem is, there are so many characters now. They've shot themselves in the foot. There's just so many characters that for every movie or OVA they do, they need to have all 500 characters in. So get ready for no one to have any screen time, because you've got to show everybody. But in addition to that, you've also got to keep introducing new characters, because you've got to sell to the Moe crowd. So that means everyone's going to have maybe 30 seconds of screen time, I guess. So, yeah. It's a problem. Pirate Princess, I haven't seen that. I would love a super grim, dark, body horror R-Type anime. But, you know, again, no one's heard of R-Type, so no one would ever do it. Come on, Netflix, give me the budget and I'll do it. Except Netflix would mandate a bunch of changes from above, and I'd have to decline. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, they did, didn't they? I didn't like it as much as Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is the only Marvel movie that I actually enjoyed, I think. Because I did genuinely enjoy it. And the second one was kind of like... I liked how the first one felt like a big adventure where they went all over the place, and then the second one, it's like, let's set it all in one location. Kind of took away from the feel of the first one a bit for me. Oh. Zapunguru. Feels like I've got nothing done today. Like, we've been streaming. Oh, we've only been streaming for an hour though. That's not too bad. I think we've got quite a bit of that extra shade put on. I remember that one, yeah. I remember it was Dolph Lundgren, wasn't it? Simpler times. Well, who knows? When the sandwich bar fills up, I have enough money to eat. So it's always a good thing for me. Yeah, I become fat immediately. Yeah, I'd make the captain a bit more fluid. Why not? Why not? I'd also redo a bunch of the rotoscoping scenes so that they were not rotoscoped as well. There were a few shots that I just did. I had them rendered out in lines, but I never got to put them in the final film because of time. Like, there was a nice one where the camera was in the middle of a big squadron of TIE fighters and it was rotating around them whilst asteroids and things went past. And that was a nice shot, but I never got to finish that one. And there was a little bit more to the strafing run on the interdictor cruiser as well. But it got to a point where I was like, well, if I don't release this now, I'm never going to release it. I'll just keep working on it forever. So I just released it. I mean, I can put them up on Patreon, I guess. Yeah. I have a couple of they're just lines, like I say, but yeah, I could put them up there. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. We'll do that then. Yeah, I mean, at the time I couldn't have done it without rotoscoping. Like, there's no way I could have. I'm better now. I'm not going to say I'm a great animator, but I'm certainly better than I was back then. Drawing 80s style, not really, not that I really know of. I mean, I guess just take screenshots from 80s anime and have them open whilst you draw and try and replicate those effects. Would be, I mean, that's what I did. Yes, if the OtaKing starter pack on Patreon has a bunch of reference folders full of stuff. Okay. Do you use 80s anime filters? No. Well, that would be pointless though, wouldn't it? Because the Thundercats intro there's nothing you could do that would improve it. Like, it's so well animated already. Like, if you got the exact same team that made that and said, here you go, have 20 billion bucks, do a better job, like, I don't think they could top what they did. It's just ridiculous. And I'm not a Thundercats fan. It came out whilst I was still watching cartoons, and I remember thinking, I'm not really interested in animal people. Like, I'd much rather have spaceships and sci-fi and stuff. And I know it was sci-fi, it's just like, I guess furry sci-fi, which I didn't know was a thing back then. I was just like, I'm not really interested in animals. And so I kind of avoided it. I did see the first few episodes, but even then I remember thinking, well, this opening sequence is ridiculous. This is just so good looking. It's just so good looking. Yeah, Jirako, I think I saw something else as well recently that did, and I think I know what they're doing. I think they're using like a median blur filter on it, which kind of crushes the strokes together a bit. I think if I had to guess, that's what I think they're doing. So it might be possible to do that. I mean, I do that on the lines sometimes, on my lines, but I don't know how noticeable it is. Like, so here are my. Let me turn the shading off and the background. So here are my lines, and as you can see, they're a bit too smooth. Like, you can tell they're not drawn. You can tell they're not drawn with pen on a cell, is the thing. So what I've been playing with is like making some filters in TVPaint that can rough up the lines a bit for me. And so, for instance, effects, multiple effects. You have to just open something at random. Then under preset, I've got cell ink scratch, which is one, which isn't working. 1 second. It's because you want single effects. So yeah, that's obviously too much. But you can see the general idea, yeah. So it roughs it up a little bit. I mean, it still looks fake. Don't get me wrong, it still looks fake, but it looks better than completely untreated, I think. So I'm not sure if anyone would notice if I applied this, though, is the thing. I did watch Battle of the Planets as a kid, yeah. When I watched what I could. I watched what I could of it, yeah. And I did like it. Obviously, like later in life, I was shocked at just how censored it was. I had no idea that most of those people that they quote unquote knocked out, they actually killed in the Japanese one. Yes, yeah, I live off of Patreon. These live streams and stuff don't really make, like, none of my YouTube stuff makes any money because every single thing gets demonetized, and I don't put enough new stuff out to please the algorithm anyway. So yeah, like, if it weren't for Patreon, I'd be living on the streets or working in the Amazon warehouse. A zombie cocktail. I had quite a few cocktails the other day, actually. I think they only added the badly drawn R2-D2 robot into Battle of the Planets to act as a narrator and explain how, don't worry kids, they didn't kill those guys. See that thing that blew up? The pilot's ejected. I think most of it was still, like, you know, actual Gatchaman footage though. I wish I had a TIE Fighter in my garage. I've been meaning to play the oh shit, I really need to plug in the better tablet than this. See, every time I look at chat it starts filling on its own. Yeah, I've been meaning to play the Total Conversion. If there's a way to turn the bloom down, I will, because the lasers are just, yeah, you've gone a little bit overboard on the lasers, I think, reimagining team, but looks interesting. Yeah, it looks quite nice. It looks quite. I don't like that you can't talk to the briefing officer anymore, though. Like, I don't think you should ever take stuff out. I mean, maybe it was a coding thing, since they're using the X-Wing Alliance engine, so maybe they couldn't. Maybe some bits they just couldn't, like, force it to do from TIE Fighter. You still hear all of the briefing officer's lines, but you don't get to click on the officer and then, you know, click on the secret order guy to hear the extra orders and stuff. It's just that they're both, it reads them both out one after another now, which I think kind of sucks a bit. Yeah. They've redone all the lines, and the guy is doing a pretty decent impression of him, actually. The guy reading out the new lines. Have you ever used Procreate? Do you think it's good? I'm experimenting with it. Has a million different pens and pencils that look real. No, I've never used it. I guess the problem with pens for me would be, like, if I had a pen that looked like a proper ink pen, then I would draw with it, and it would be all scratchy and everything. But then it would make it harder for me to fill areas with shading. So, like, that's why I think it's probably easier for me if I do the line smooth like this, then fill my shading in, and then, like, put an effect on the lines afterwards to rough it up a bit. So that's my concern with that. But, you know, there are people who do draw with pens, like, straight off and then animate with them. So they still have to fill areas. So they can do it somehow. So I'm not. Yeah, they must know something that I don't. Yeah, I'm very bad at learning new things. Like, if anything doesn't use layers in the way that I'm used to, then that's like me having to draw with my left hand or something, and I just run away from it immediately. Mackie, would you like to tell everyone about our idea for the new business model? Or should we wait until a later date? I'm quite excited by it, actually. And I'm never excited about anything, so it must be good. Okay, we'll have to wait for a bit. Now you'll like it though, don't worry. It's not like a Google thing where we're like, don't worry, we're gonna change everything so you don't know how to use anything anymore. I did have 2 sandwiches today. I immediately became very sleepy. I think it's the heat. It's the heat that's been doing it. Fill tool. What about it? Okay, well, thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next stream. Have fun doing whatever you're doing. Yes, it is going to rain, isn't it? We're going to have thunder and lightning, and it's going to break the heat wave, is what I heard. So that could be quite nice. Although today's been pretty decent. Like, I was actually able to wear trousers today, which is nice. Oh, hold on. Skype's being a bit weird. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. Aha! Okay, Mackie's coming back after dinner. Okay, well, enjoy your food, Mackie. Say hello to the cats for me. And I'll see you when you get back. The Met Office is capricious. It's like the ancient gods of Olympus. Wow. What a deal. What a bargain for 50 quid. It's true, yeah. Although that guideline does say if I ever meet you at a con or something. So you have to actively track me down. But yeah, everyone who's on the Patreon, if you can find me at a convention, I'm contractually obligated to buy you a drink. Doesn't have to be an alcoholic drink, it can be a Coke or whatever. And I would like to go to more cons. I would like to go to some American cons. So hopefully I will get to meet some of you in person. Maybe a White Russian. I love White Russians. Not where I live. I have to travel to go to the arcade club down in Leeds. I've only been once, but I would like to go again because it was very good. That's Arcade Club in Leeds for anyone who's in the UK. I think it's open up again now, actually. the space bar. If you put like a little umbrella in the cocktail, that would be ideal. It is, yes, I've found that. Like, if you work whilst you've got a stream on in the background where someone else is also working that does... Whoa, what's this? We have a subscriber. Excellent. Oh, no, I didn't. I did not stop by. Sorry, I will though. Is it even a cocktail without a little brolly in it? No Time Crisis 1? How are you supposed to be their guest and let them entertain you if they don't have Time Crisis 1? Indeed. Wild dog who keeps coming back again and again. I never actually played 1. I just I used to watch the attract mode a lot. I played a lot of 2 though, because they had that down at the arcade in Meadowhall when it's a big. It was, for those interested in this kind of thing, Meadowhall. It's a big mall in Sheffield where I live, and it was the biggest mall in the UK at one point. I think it's been surpassed now. Compared to an American mall, it's tiny. But it was the biggest one in the UK at one point when it was built, I think. And they used to have an arcade. Obviously, they killed the arcade years ago. But yeah, it used to have Time Crisis 2 there, so I used to play a lot of that. Had a roller coaster? What, at Meadowhall? Really? No, yeah, that's good. Doing a job that you enjoy more. I definitely put in my time before this dream job of people paying me on Patreon to animate. I was basically working at the equivalent of Amazon warehouses and McDonald's. And I was pretty sure that that was going to be my life until I died. And yeah, I guess I was pretty depressed at the time. It's just that there weren't, we didn't have Twitter and stuff telling everybody what your mental problems probably are, so I didn't know. I just figured, well, everyone's sad that their lives are so shit. Yeah, it wasn't awesome. It wasn't an awesome time. Mackie's gone to eat dinner. She will be back. She will be back. But yeah, you get Discord access for like any amount on the Patreon. Oh, it's that time of the night when relaxing music plays. Well, you will get out of retail though. You will get out. It took me a long time, but I did. Especially right now. Like it must... Everyone must be screwed right now, I would imagine. A few nice techno mix streams. It'll never leave you. Oh, a gun shop. Yeah, I think the worst job I ever did was McDonald's, but specifically McDonald's when you have to do Friday night until they close. Ugh. Just the absolute dregs of humanity come in and just smash the place up. Has to be security there to stop all the fights that break out and stuff. Yeah, it was a nightmare. Yeah. Was this in the UK then? You worked at a gun shop in the UK? Because I know that we must have gun shops, but I've never seen one. Like, you know, it's not like America, I imagine, where you go to Walmart and get guns. Oh, I see. Ping! I see. I imagine you need to, oi mate, have a license for that gun as well. Times 300. MIRC, yeah. I think that's the thing with VR chat. I think it's the new MIRC, except, you know, with graphics. Oh. Don't know if anyone's hearing that from my microphone. I can hear some wildlife outside. Just the, you know, talking to random people in chat rooms kind of thing. You walk into a virtual bar and end up talking to just random people. Yeah, there's some kind of owl or something outside. I was talking to Mackie the other day and she could hear various wildlife in the background. Indeed. When Mackie was here last, before lockdown and all the madness began, we went on a bat walk with some kind of like bat society, because bats are pretty cute. Yeah, it's like Ghostbusters but for bats. So they had all of the equipment for listening in on bats and stuff, and you tune it to the right frequency and you can hear all the different bat sounds. A bat walk, yeah. So basically it was a group whose their job it is to basically monitor the number of bats in various parts of the UK. So this group was keeping up on the numbers of bats in this one area of Sheffield. And they take people around sometimes, and so obviously you have to do it after dark. You have to do it at just the right time when the sun goes down and the bats are most active. They're like little mice with wings. They did, didn't they? They did give us a ride, yes. I remember. Yeah, I can hear that owl in the background again, Mackie. On the bat walk. But yeah, just let me know if you want to come on the stream, Mackie. Is it a wood pigeon? Is that what it is? There is a lot of greenery. There is a lot of greenery near me. No, trees. Trees. Do you remember owls? I think that might be a little bit too literal to the English. Everything is going well, but I don't think that. I think in Japanese that would be a little bit different. But then I've never had to say everything's going well in Japanese, so I could be totally wrong. Yeah, it is, isn't it? What is the Ota mean in OtaKing? It's like otaku and king. It's like the Otaku King. I got it from an old Gainax OVA. Long before they made Evangelion or anything like that, they did an OVA called Otaku no Video, and it's all about otaku in Japan. And one of their goals in it is to become OtaKings. And so I saw that in my formulative years of watching anime, and so I was like, I'll be an OtaKing as well! And so I just started using, I used the name, and now it's too late to stop using it. Doesn't seem too crowded here, but yeah. I mean, I live in a fairly quiet-ish area. Indeed. Well, I recommend Otaku no Video if you can find it. It's very good. Oh, maybe. Senno, yeah. I've heard that one in anime a few times. Pomf. You want a big ass? I mean, it's attainable. Don't let your dreams be memes. Just eat a lot of McDonald's. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's very much appreciated. Cheers. Yeah, I don't really have nostalgia for blockbusters. When I was growing up, there were small, what's the word? You know, like not franchises, independent VHS rental places. So when I lived in this small village called Wacom growing up, and I guess it was like a mall. There was a place called the Forum, which was just a big collection of shops, and they had the Forum video there. So you'd go up some stairs. There's a little. It was above some shops, so you'd go into this little door beside some shops. And there's a big load of stairs with carpet on inside and movie posters either side. So you'd go up this narrow stairway into like this upstairs video rental place. And I would spend so long in there just looking at the covers of all the horror videos, and I bet if I can't remember what it smelled like now, but it had this really distinctive smell of videotapes. But yeah, so that's the kind of video stuff I'm nostalgic for, because we didn't really have blockbusters back then. Whoa! Pardon me. Everyone likes Phil Collins. Thank you. If you're tired of Phil Collins, you're tired of life. Disgusting. No perving over Peter Gabriel here, please. do have to see Miami Vice at some point. It's one of those things where it was on when I was a kid, but as a kid there was so much stuff that I was like, well, why am I'm not interested in the 80s, I live in the 80s. So I'm not going to watch this thing about two cops when I could be watching Battlestar Galactica and spaceships blowing up. But now, obviously, I want to watch stuff about the 80s because I'm not in the 80s anymore and I miss the 80s. And I've realised that I didn't appreciate stuff like Miami Vice. Yeah, I will watch it at some point, definitely. I see a spirited discussion going on in chat here. Yes, join me if you like. I'll call you on Skype. One moment though, I might, yeah, we'll do a coffee break and I'll go and make myself a big mug, well, a big glass of Pocari. How about that? And then I'll give you a call when I get back. Excellent! I was just about to save and it auto-saved for me. How is it looking? Yeah, it's coming along, Alright, let's do a beverage break. I'll see you all back here in a few moments.
A very special cup of coffee, a new standard in richness, a new standard in pureness, blended together to give a new standard in smooth. The Gold Blend standard, only from Nescafe.
It's only memories of Earth and the rich smell of this coffee that keeps my spirits up. Coffee. At least we'll reach our destination soon. Coffee. You make a fine cup of coffee. You've made my day.
Are you taking your coffee break now, Alan?
Yeah, that's right. You want some? Coffee. And I had to go make coffee for two. Hurry up, would you? My coffee's starting to cool off. Coffee, my salvation from my day-to-day drudgery. Coffee. A little bitter, but still an excellent blend.
Boy, you should switch to decaf.
Hello. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm having a dinner party and I've run out of coffee.
Come in.
Thank you.
Will Gold Blend be too good for your guests?
Oh, I think they could get used to it.
It's a very sophisticated coffee.
They have very sophisticated taste.
Do they?
Yes. Well, I must be getting back.
Now, golden roasted, richer, smoother, Nescafe Gold Blend.
Have you met your new neighbor yet?
Oh, I've popped in for coffee.
Come on, Dad.
You're playing Vicky, not Andre Agassi.
Don't be so sure.
Agassi.
Hi, call me Andre.
Nescafe, Andre?
You bet. Nescafe sure is coffee at its best. That's the best thing served to me all week. Who's up for doubles?
Yeah!
The best days are Nescafe days.
今結構忙しいんだろ？そういえば例の歌の歌詞はで
私はあなたが好き。
Days looking new and bright, and you're gonna start it right. Folger's starting to brew, the aroma's calling you. The best part of waking up is Folger's in your cup.
Mornings are brighter with mountain-grown Folgers because mountain-grown coffee has more enticing aroma than any other kind.
The best part of waking up is Folger's in your cup.
Please enjoy this footage of velvety smooth beans, followed by a well-shot close-up of a hot brown liquid that's brewed by mixing heated water.
All over the world, the word for great coffee flavor is Nescafe.
We're the world's favorite brand of instant coffees.
In America, Nescafe's great flavor comes two ways.
We're the world's best-selling too.
Nescafe Regular in the red label.
If Nescafe can please the whole wide world.
And now Nescafe Decaffeinated in the green label.
We can sure please you.
Same kind of flavor. Nescafe Regular, Nescafe Decaffeinated. What's your pleasure?
お嬢さん方を応接室に。
はい。
美味しいコーヒーを入れましょうかね。美味しいコーヒーができましたよ。
I only showed you that to remind you you desperately need your fix.
男の温度が上がった。飲んで飲んでまた飲みたい。缶入りコーヒーウエスト。
Go west.
ボス、私のそばにいてね。ボス、決して私見捨てないでお願い。Boss, I can't live without you. Boss, I can't live without you. Boss, いつもそばにいてね。Boss, 私のそばにいてね。
Well, well, we are back. Mackie's with me. Mackie, would you like to say a test thing so I can get your volume right?
We are back. Hello, chat. Welcome
that sounds perfect to me.
Okay.
What about you, chat? Chat doesn't care. We can just talk about whatever we want.
I think chat's too busy getting some coffee.
How about that sports then, Mackie? What about the recent sports?
Latest news in the International Championship of Fiery Poos.
Fiery Poos.
Fiery Poos. I got OtaKing to play Cards Against Humanity.
Yes, yeah, we did. There were some pretty good answers.
Some pretty good. I'm glad. I've been meaning to get you to play that for like years now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone still plays it in real life.
Who knows in real life? But yeah, I mean, it really is the luck of the draw, though, whether or not you get a good one or not.
Well, that's where the creativity part comes in.
Ah, I see.
Gotta use the old noggin.
And you can all hear Mackie in chat, I take it? I take it you can? Yes?
If you can't, please send OtaKing a sternly worded email.
Yes, to my P.O. Box address. Yes, everyone can hear you perfectly.
Excellent. Well, I wasn't going to mention anything, but since you mentioned it, how about you talk about some of the new directions we're planning for work?
Well, I'm glad you asked. What would you like to say about them?
I didn't want to say anything, but you said something, and then I said no, and then chat went, aw, so now I feel bad, so you're going to explain what you're excited about.
Okay. So, here was the idea originally then, chat. Here was our original idea that we always were going to do when we started the Patreon, and that was that we finished this film. Hold on, some creature is squeaking outside.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah, something squeaked outside. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a bat. Anyway, so we were going to finish this film, and then we were going to do the mech film. And that was the original idea. Now, obviously, the problem with that is that this has taken a while. The mech film would take even longer because it was going to be even longer. So it's going to be, for people who are on the Patreon, it's going to be years before you see final things. Obviously, you get to see updates each week.
I was going to say, you do get updated every week on new scenes and new animations. I mean, just recently there was an animation that I helped color that we posted up.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that's the reason. I think that at heart, OtaKing just really enjoys doing cool shit. And I feel like if we worked on bits of animation instead of, big heavy scripts, it'll allow him to practice more of what he likes doing, and people get to see stuff faster.
So shorter, say 30-second opening sequence length things for a little while after we finish this is the idea. We do like a year maybe of just like shorter things so that you get to see finished things, but you know, every few months rather than having to wait 4 years between things is the idea.
Well, I think also the idea is because we've had a few opportunities where we've had studios approach us, but I feel like their expectations are not very realistic for how we work. But it gives me a better idea of how to organize stuff for the future, so I want to get things in place so when we tackle the mech film, like there's no delays, there's no figuring stuff out, and we have appropriate manpower. Because, you know, why not? Want it to be good.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, just posting more. I mean, who doesn't like more cool badasses and explosions?
So I was thinking, you know, like short things, anime opening length, perfect for that would be a bunch of old games, for instance. So you could do Ghosts and Goblins and anime opening for Ghosts and Goblins or Afterburner or Space Harrier or something. And it would all be action, which people like, and it would be, I mean, it's 30 seconds, so maybe 2 or 3 months max, maybe, and that would be done.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm a show don't tell kind of person, so that's like, no, don't say anything.
Yeah, no, indeed. But yeah, like not having to wait years to see a finished thing is the idea.
Yeah, we were approached by, I won't name any names. We were approached by a studio that does very, very well for itself, and they wanted something of their franchise, and we were like, cool. They're like, you can do whatever you want. So we've made up a concept, and they're like, you can't do that. So we kept negotiating, and they're like, no, we just want an anime music video opening. And it's like, what? They're like, pick a Japanese song, can be copyright free or whatever. And I'm like, what? That's not how this works.
Yeah, it was
How this works.
a little bit frustrating. A lot of back and forth.
Yeah, and they wanted it. Yeah, they wanted it in about 3 to 4 weeks. Would have been the perfect timeline for them. But I don't know who the hell can work 3 to 4 weeks and not have like a crew of 30 animators.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just figuring it out, because the whole I hope a studio discovers you, though, is super flattering, and I'm really glad people think that highly of the work. I'm not sure it's realistic, because every time a studio has approached, I haven't really walked away feeling like, ah, yes, I am very happy with their offer.
Yeah, it's mainly been they don't seem to understand how long animation takes, and trying to convince them how long animation takes is half of the emails that go back and forth.
If it was just the animation part, I get it, but they want animation, plus they want us to provide the music, plus they want lyrics, and someone has to sing those lyrics, and it's just like, whoa, man, this is a bit above the pay grade. Plus, they didn't want to pay for it, so.
And it has to be done in 4 weeks max, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I don't think that's actually physically possible. And we crunched the numbers, and it wasn't even physically possible if I didn't sleep for a month. Like, it wasn't physically possible.
Oh,
so
it's okay. It's been solved. Chad is volunteering to sing.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're done. Like on the M Sings threads. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. You did it, lads.
Indeed, yeah. Look, Afterburner anime dogfights, like, because I remember when I did R-Type, a lot of the comments were, "Oh shit, you should do more games. You should do more games," and this would be perfect for that. This would be perfect. Like, just pick a fairly. I mean, I could do Golden Axe, for instance. So you could have your Afterburner and for your dogfights fix, and then the next one could be Golden Axe for all the action choreography and gore and blood. So it's kind of. That's why I was excited, because it's kind of a freeing. It would be kind of a freeing year in a way to just work on a bunch of different genre stuff.
Yeah.
So, and you know, it also gets more eyes on the YouTube channel, because currently the YouTube channel is hundreds and hundreds of live streams and like 2 or 3 actual finished animations.
Well, that brings up the other thing that we were discussing about. I mean, if chat wants to throw out some opinions on it, I'm open to that. About if we should move live streams to a secondary channel.
I think we should.
And leave all the good shit on the primary channel. But I think it's a good idea if people aren't too lazy to favorite a second channel or whatever.
A lot of channels do have a secondary channel these days for like gaming or whatever, and I think it would be a good place to put the live stream so that people finding the primary channel, it's just all just finished animations and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, let's see. To answer, how much would 1 minute of animation cost? Well, I can tell you right now, OtaKing barely scraps by at what counts as minimum wage.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up, and a mid-tier animator in the US should be making about $25 an hour. And to hire music, 1 minute of music can go between 100 to 1,000. And then that's not counting lyrics writing, which I haven't looked into. Plus, that doesn't count royalty for every time the music is played. So yeah, it gets a little... And the funny thing was, the price was the last thing they were like nitpicking about. It was timing. They want it all done fast now.
Yeah. They were very happy to pay through the nose, it seemed. Or at least... I live on minimum wage. I'd be living on ramen if I liked ramen. So it seemed like a huge amount of money to me. Like, professionally, it probably wasn't a huge amount of money, but it seemed like a massive amount of money. It's just all the whole, can you get it done in just a few weeks kind of thing.
Yes. Do you want to exchange like 20% of your life to work on this thing in 3 weeks? Kind of thing. Did you see the new He-Man? We talked about that earlier in the chat, and he did not, and I don't think it's its cup of tea.
No,
but...
I don't think I'll bother with it. No.
Yeah.
OtaKing chat sings the Macross opening now. That would be perfect. Perfect. But yeah, so that's the idea. And maybe even a little bit of rebranding.
Yeah, a little bit of rebrand.
Would you like to talk about that?
I mean, it'll make more sense once we have it published. I mean, okay, so basically just let people know this is an animation channel from the title, because a lot of people don't know what 77077 means.
Yeah.
So, maybe something like OtaKing Animation Channel, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, just slight things, nothing crazy. That's why I was like, we've mentioned it, and then when you said you're excited on the stream, I was like, he is? I wasn't aware he was that excited, so that's why I was caught off guard.
Yeah,
I was like, what? We're gonna talk about this?
Just like a year or so of just doing different things.
Yeah.
You can't possibly get burned out because it's a different project every couple of months, and they're vastly different genres, and they're all old games or whatever that I'm interested in, or like maybe a Transformers short or something like that.
Yeah.
And because I do feel, and I've asked chat and I've asked Patreon before, and everyone says it's totally fine, we don't mind, but I do feel like I'm taking too long and people aren't getting to see finished things enough.
It's really tough too, because there are things that if we show them, they spoil the film, and I would hate to spoil a 20-minute animation just to show some cool 60 to, I don't know.
There's so much stuff I have for this Project Monday film that we can't show because it would spoil things.
Yeah, it's like, might as well. It's like get a spooky movie, show the monster in the trailer.
Yeah.
And call it a day.
Yeah, so we can't do that, which is frustrating because I feel like people are there on the Patreon going like, oh, we've seen this character walking around for ages, like when is he going to show something different, and I've got so much stuff that I want to show but I can't because it'll ruin it, and like, it's frustrating. Whereas something like Space Harrier, Afterburner, Ghosts and Goblins, I can show everything.
Well, also keep in mind, like, there are the postcards, and we do the postcards about every 3 months, so
yeah
people can receive different. Like what have we done so far? We did Ghost in the Shell, we did Transformers, we did Dirty Pair.
Mm-hmm.
The recent one is Golden Axe.
Yes.
Have you shown anyone that one?
No, I don't want to show till it's more finished.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a couple other like things that we do besides just the weekly updates. But I think also it's important as an artist. It's just important as an artist that you like what you're doing.
I mean, I like what I'm doing now.
Yeah, but I mean like that you can do it all the time and also get sleep and also play a game if you want to and not feel horribly guilty.
Oh, I don't mind about that. But I do think that having a bunch of shorter finished things would get some more eyes on the channel as well, which might be nice.
Yeah. No, plus I think it might be nice because I was mentioning to OtaKing earlier, one thing that I do like about the TIE Fighter thing is there's no talking. So everything that happens feels universal. You can understand it regardless of language or not. So I'd like to do something more like that because also then it's, less overhead finding a voice actor and getting the stuff and paying for it and then translating it maybe afterwards or not if we have like extra energy left over from the end of a project.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be good. But
yes, it should be fun. It should be fun. So the 30 of you that are here, you're the first people to hear about that.
Yeah, I was not prepared, but I hope it made sense.
Yes.
And
yes,
yeah,
I
look
hope
forward
so.
to some more cool shit and explosions in the future.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
There you go.
Now what do we talk about?
Let's talk about bullying.
Bullying? Come on, don't bully me, Nagatoro-san. Best anime of the season. Oh, sorry, don't toy with me. Like, what does that even mean? Nobody says that. Nobody says that.
Could talk about VR chat. Good point.
VR chat? Oh, wow, you saw that like 3 seconds before I did.
Oh.
It popped up in chat just after I stopped saying it.
I was gonna say, if you want to see some very convincing, very cooling ice cream, go to the Blockbuster, and you'll see.
Well, I mean, we can try doing a meetup after the stream if people want.
Yeah, or I'm just saying, anytime they want, they can go to the arcade bar on VR chat, same name, right? Same name, just OtaKing77077.
Yeah, if you literally go to VR chat and put in 77077 in like worlds, then that'll be the first one that comes up.
Yeah, and then you can go check out and rent your favorite movie from Blockbuster.
Yes.
And then head over to the bar to eat a slice of metallic pizza.
No, the pizza looks good now.
Oh, okay.
I fixed the pizza. Yeah, a lot of Japanese people do seem to like the arcade. Yeah. I've been getting a few like likes and things on Twitter in Japanese talking about the arcade. There was one Project Echo fan from Japan who was talking about it, saying, "Why is there a Project Echo poster in an arcade? I don't know, but I like it." I haven't seen Hathaway yet. No, I will do at some point.
Which was the Gundam series that you were watching that ended up being pretty good?
Thunderbolt? Was
it the one that you showed me the opening of?
I think so. Oh no, I think the one I showed you was Gino Reconquista.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, which it was pretty good. It was all right. It was all right. It was very confusing at parts, but I mean, I expected that going in, considering who wrote it and directed it.
How do these Gundam universes relate, or is it just kind of like,
They don't.
G Gundam separate universe?
Yeah, separate universe for everything that isn't the UC timeline, the Universal Century timeline. So G Gundam, Gundam Wing, all of those are just like set in their own little separate timelines so that they can do different things with it.
So how does it relate that all these timelines have built Gundams, or do we not ask?
They just do. They just build them. They just build them in different timelines, and they always call them Gundams.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, aliens came down and probed someone, so they have all knowledge how to build a Gundam.
Well, there is one alternate universe, or AU, Gundam series called Turn A Gundam, or as it's pronounced in the show, Turn A Gundam. And in Turn A Gundam, it's set so far in the future of Gundam, supposedly, that every single Gundam show has happened thousands of years before. And so they dig up old Gundams and old Zakus and stuff, but they call them all different names because, they don't have any history of them and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be so far in the future that all of the Gundams have actually taken place already. And that's the Studio Ghibli looking Gundam that's all set in the countryside and is really kind of beautiful.
Is that Turn Akiman Gundam? Because he designed all the characters.
Yeah, it is, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Turn A Gundam. What's the series with the literal cockpit? I'm not sure. Not sure.
All of them?
But yeah, Turn A Gundam has the advantage of having some fan subs at the time that were absolutely fucking awful. Like some of the worst fan subs I'd ever seen in my entire life that everyone just took the piss out of. Who was it? Who was it? Outsider will know who subtitled it. What group was it? The ones that they do a bunch of tokusatsu stuff, wasn't it? I think. Yes, yeah, and they put honorifics into absolutely fucking everything. Like, thank you for bringing back our Ojo summers, even though it's set in like a European, what looks like industrial, just barely industrial age European country, and everyone's saying Ojo summers and Sama's here and Senpai's there, and just like 100 liner notes at the top of the screen. TV Nihon, there you go. TV Nihon, the worst fan subgroup that there will ever be, probably. And that's my rant on Gundam.
I do have like a little bit torn feeling with subs when it's addressing a teacher. Because when they say the teacher's full name, it's like, yeah, you can say Miss blah blah blah. But when they only say sensei, I don't want to translate as just teacher because it sounds.
That sounds stupid. I like the, it's whatever is going to cause the least damage in subs, and so I like the just say Miss whatever, just translate it as Miss whatever. That's what they did in Azumanga. As I recall.
Right, yeah, that it sounded the most natural there from all the things I've watched.
Yeah.
Do you think that it loses a sense of informality though when you do that?
Maybe, but I mean that's the thing with translation. You're pretty much always going to lose something. You're always going to lose something. So it's all about translation. Is there's destructive and non-destructive workflows in art, and translation is pretty much always going to be a destructive workflow. So wow, I sound so intellectual. You're always going to lose something. So it's about damage control and keeping the most meaning that you can, whilst also making it as natural sounding as you can. I guess.
Yeah, that's it. I never really thought about it in that kind of depth. By the way, since you did do what does it count as translation? Your degree? Does it count?
Yeah, it was Japanese study. I did an MA in translation. Yeah.
So is there like a god of the translation world, like a?
In translation theory, there's big names, but you won't really hear of them outside of academia and whatnot. Like Eugene, and I don't know if it's Eugene Nider or Eugene Nieder, but anyway, he was he's the one who kind of wrote books about dynamic equivalence versus formal versus dynamic equivalence in translation, and that wasn't specifically for Japanese. It was any translation at all, and it was specifically. He was doing it for translations of the Bible, so that's when it really counts, translating the Bible. And so yeah, he was a big name, but I think he died a long time ago though. Yeah. But a lot of people, it's the whole so dynamic equivalence is basically what Fox Kids, whoever it was, did with Pokemon, where you change the onigiri to to jelly donuts and things like that.
Okay.
So that's like complete Americanization. So that's dynamic equivalence, whereas formal equivalence is where you just translate the Japanese word for word, and you leave the ojo-samas in, and you leave the Japanese word order in, and you basically do a TV Nihon, except times 20. So
what
that's
camp do you belong to?
Oh, dynamic by a mile. Yeah, dynamic equivalence is yeah. So you don't translate it as jelly donuts, obviously, but you do. You kind of meet things halfway, but you change the Japanese enough that it's understandable. You change the idiom, for instance, like when someone says "kubi o aratte matsu ga yoi," like wash your neck and wait. That means nothing. That means nothing in English. So you change that to, like wait your turn. I'll get to you eventually when someone's gonna come and kill you or whatever. Yeah, because that's a Japanese samurai thing. Just wash your neck and we'll come and chop your head off eventually, kind of thing. So yeah. So what you don't do is say that. You don't translate it like that and put a big translation note at the top saying, here's what it means, because it's not translation at that point.
Yeah, at that point it's like a language assistance learning tool.
Yeah, it's a language lesson at that point. And that's my thoughts on translation, chat.
Well, I think it's very interesting because I'm wondering, like, I don't ever see, like, I've seen job offers for translation, but I never see, like, anything about preferable with a degree or...
No. I mean, it's very insular, the translation world. That's why... Well, that's not why I was no good at it. Also, I was shit at reading Japanese, which you kind of have to be a bit good at for translating Japanese. But it's like, every company already has their preferred translators that they've worked with. So they don't even need to advertise for jobs. They'll just give it to Ben. They'll give it to my friend Ben over in Japan. And so, like, it was just like, it was all of these bottom of the rung. We've just started on the RPG in the starter town. Just people just scrabbling for jobs, and just people taking the lowest pay possible just to get jobs and stuff like that.
Sure.
Oh, it was terrible. It was absolute just like watching a pack of dogs rip each other apart over just like a couple of bits of beef jerky. That's what translation world was like when I was doing it anyway.
I think that's every post-college degree thing. What do you think, chat? Do you care about translations, or do you not mind the samas and sans?
They're gonna say they don't like them because they know that I don't like them. It's okay, you can be honest, it's fine.
It's fine. We know that you like 4 kids. It's okay.
But yeah, for me, like, half of the fun of translation is finding a good translation. Just translating the Japanese word for word is boring. It's boring. And yeah, finding a good translation of some idiom or whatever is just that's kind of half of the fun if you want to be creative about things. Although I get how once you're translating for a living and you're doing literally like 3,000 books a year, that the whole creativity part might drop away and you're just like, oh shit, another fucking shitty isekai light novel that I have to do. Because there's so many of them. And like Seven Seas just released so many of them because they paid almost nothing and just print them on, you know, toilet paper. So you can pay a translator like £10 to do a book or whatever. Just release it all. It's fine. Doesn't matter how bad the translation is.
People would probably likely agree with you because if they've seen like stuff on your channel, they've probably seen that little documentary, that sub-documentary you did.
Yeah, a little
like
bit
a
cringy.
decade ago now.
I left it up for posterity. It's a bit cringy.
What do you think about? But do you still agree with all your points?
Oh, I agree with all of my points. It's just that I think that I could have done them a little bit more eloquently rather than just whining in my whiniest my voice has ever been, probably. But I mean, at the time, that's what you had to do to get your point across, I guess. Maybe even more so now. I don't know.
What triggered you? Like something had to have happened that you were like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make a video series on this."
Watching fan subs, like it was my only way of watching anime, and it was just so bad having to drop so many series because I just couldn't get through those subs. Like having to pause the video every 20 seconds to read these notes at the top of the screen. It was ruining it for me. It was just ruining.
This was also like early 2000 subs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. I remember.
They were. And I mean, they did get better, and that video doesn't have millions of views, so I don't think I really had anything to do with that.
I don't know.
I mean, I'd like to think maybe so. I'd like to think I changed things for the better a little bit, but I doubt it.
Hot discussions on a hot stream on a hot summer's night.
Yes, that's what it's all about here.
That's what you get here.
Yeah, we talk about the controversial topics.
Yup. Just call me Larry King Jr., I guess. I don't know if I'm like Larry King.
Average early 2000s sub or average 2000s dub, which is worse?
Ooh.
Because here's the thing. Me and Ben, the translator extraordinaire that I mentioned earlier, we were talking about this some years ago. And his view is, and I think I agree with him, is that in an ideal world, imagine this, chat, in an ideal world where English dubs are literally as good as the Japanese dubs. They're not just farmed out cheaply like they are in the West. And because in Japan there are actual, there are voice actor schools for doing anime and stuff. Whereas here it seems, in England, in the US, it's just like, oh, it's an anime dub. Just get that anime dubbing studio that doesn't put in any effort or whatever. Like, that's just the way it seems. Anyway, so in an ideal world where the English language dub is as good, the voice actors are just as good and everything, and they fit the characters just as well. In that ideal world, the ideal way to watch anime would be dubbed, because then you're getting the same experience as the Japanese. Your eyes are on the anime. You don't have to flick your eyes down to the subtitles for like 2 seconds each line of dialogue and miss what's happening on the screen. Because no matter how fast you read, and I read pretty fast, I'm still missing action on the screen, especially when, it's like Shah's counterattack and I'm having to read dialogue in the middle of like a really beautiful mech battle or whatever. So yeah, in the ideal world, I think it would be dubs, but we don't live in an ideal world. So what can you do?
Pray. pray for good dubs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So are you saying, like, just to compare it?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's animated movies like by DreamWorks or Pixar and whatever, and they'll get like, I don't know, Will Smith and other names of Western celebrities to like do the voice.
Yeah.
Do you think then like that's a solution, or do you think that misses the mark?
Well, they've done that for Ghibli dubs, for English Ghibli dubs before. They've gotten like Christian Bale to do voices and what's his name, Patrick Stewart and stuff, and they're pretty good. They're like, obviously they're much better than your average anime dub.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like that's just kind of some of the highlights of and like some of the other actors just aren't as good and things, and I don't know. And obviously a lot of the time a big name Hollywood actor isn't quite the same as a voice actor. It's a totally different discipline. So for instance, in the late 90s they did Armitage the Third was an anime that was doing the rounds, and for the dub of the movie of that they got Kiefer Sutherland to voice the secondary character.
Yeah.
But it sounded a little bit stilted, and obviously Kiefer Sutherland is a great actor, but I guess not so much a great voice actor, or he just wasn't directed very well and stuff like that. So
gotcha.
So yeah, I don't know.
If you were gonna make like a new series to follow up your old series, what would you like to teach the youngins? What would you like to fix?
What?
If you wanted to make a new fan series or fan documentary.
Oh, right. What about fan subs?
About anything to do with that area. Would you want to fix anything? Is it still the same argument as before?
I don't think. No, I don't. I haven't seen subtitles as bad as what I was showing in that documentary for years. So I think we might be all right. Now. I mean, if you watch most fan subs now, and they just seem to be rips of what is it, Crunchyroll anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to have a minimum level of professionalism, and there's no typos, and there's very little in the way of honorifics and stuff, and they just generally do a solid job, it seems.
I would bitch about color palettes.
Oh yeah. If we're talking about anime and not the translation thereof.
Anime in general.
Yeah, then I'd bitch about color palettes as well. Yeah.
Everything's so gray.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Violet Evergarden was nice. But it's still. It was nice though. I did like it a lot, but it still didn't look like, I'd still take Zeta Gundam art style any day, or City Hunter, or Dirty Pair art style. But I guess that's just like my opinion, bro.
I wonder how hard it was to do the whatchamacallit, the Crying Freeman anime.
Oh yeah.
Well, just because like that's a tough style to reduce.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I would figure that would have been way harder than working on like Doraemon or something.
Oh yeah, I imagine. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. Gotta grab some dinner. Okay. See you later.
Enjoy your feast.
Yes. Oh, you've noticed dodgy subs on Crunchyroll. But yeah, I don't know. The new anime style is far easier to teach. It's too hot, really. It's 29 degrees here. If it's below 30, I count myself lucky in this climate.
There's one thing I look at that I'll know if it's actually a good series or not, because I've noticed this newer generation of animators, they can't draw hands. I don't know what happened.
Oh.
Or like hands have become tiny. I think there was such a wave of moe anime.
That was a weird time when
That was a
everyone's
weird
hands
time.
were the size of their nose, maybe.
And so I've seen a lot of anime where like everything's drawn normal and suddenly there's like these fetal hands on the character. And I'm just like, oh guys, I can't unsee now. It's ruined. Gonna throw this series in the trash.
Watching Girls in Panzer, like it was a little bit concerning. And you're supposed to suspend your disbelief with that series. She's got her head sticking out the top of a tank and there's ammunition flying everywhere and her head never gets blown off by shrapnel or anything. And that's fine. I can totally live with that. But what I can't live with is the fact that their heads are massive, their necks are the size of maybe my wrist, and it looks like if one of the girls from Girls in Panzer like fell over, they would just their neck would snap like a twig and they would die. And that's a bit disturbing to me, I guess.
Agreeable. Did you finish that Firefighter series?
Oh, Fire Force. Yeah, I did. What they've done of it, yeah. It was alright. It's kind of, it's a shonen thing, so it just keeps going and going, so they'll just keep bringing it out, I think.
What do you mean? It sounds like you're unsatisfied with the ending of the series.
Well, there is no ending, because it's just... It keeps going.
Like, in seasons, or what?
Yeah, I think so. Like, every couple of years, they'll bring another one out.
Oh, okay.
And it's following a manga, which I believe is still running, so, it's going to go on forever, I believe. So you're never going to get, like, a satisfactory ending or anything, I don't think.
Have you read Chainsaw Man?
No, but I hear it's
getting an anime from what I heard.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll wait for the anime then, because maybe it'll be like Promised Neverland and have a really good second season that doesn't fuck everything up.
Yeah, go ahead. Wait for the anime and have a Way of the Husbando result. You go ahead and
Is that what happened to that as well?
We talked about it on another stream, I guess, between me and chat. Way of the Husbando, like, it's just an animatic. It's just a storyboard, basically.
Oh. So it doesn't move at all then?
No, and like, I mean, if it's for comedic effect, but if the whole thing just has, like, the onomatopoeia as a visual cue, like, that's not an anime, and you're just storyboarding what's in the manga all the time.
Well, that's just lazy.
It hurt. I was so excited to watch it, and that hurt. So, but also, I'm just a manga person. I love manga the same way that OtaKing loves anime. That's how I feel about manga. So I'm always gonna prefer the manga.
For me, the advantage of anime is that you can make it move. So when you get an anime based on a manga and it doesn't move, well, I was going to say what was the point. Obviously, the point is to make money, but yeah, what's the point apart from to make money? There is no point. You've just wasted your biggest asset of animation not having it move.
I have some comments to make about the aero industry concerning not animating things well.
Oh, well, feel free. Go ahead.
I mean, it's just so scammy at this point. I've seen people like recommending H that just looks like crap, and I don't know if it's because there's nothing better or that's what they were raised. I mean, it's like if you're raised on, I don't know, eating
gruel.
Literal buckets of crap.
You're raised on gruel in the workhouse, and so that tastes like steak to you, delicious
Exactly.
steak.
Maybe the gruel's delicious. And even though I can provide you with the most beautiful tomahawk steak, if you like gruel, you just like gruel.
Oh, we've got rain where outsider is. Well, it hasn't reached Sheffield yet. I can't hear anything. Hold on, let me look at my weather report. Ever since the Gundam? Ever since the Windows update, look, it's put this thing in the bottom right of my screen. And whenever I go down here, it tells me the weather, plus a bunch of fucking headlines that I have no interest in. I don't look at news, and so Windows was like, oh shit, this guy isn't consuming news and getting angry. We've got to update his Windows so that it puts it down in the bottom right of his screen at all times.
I do not consent.
I do not consent to having news in on my desktop of all places. You're not mad enough. Here, let us give you some clickbait headlines every time you go to look at the weather.
For the record, I do like limited animation. Like, limited animation is my preferred animation style, but when it's basically just one drawing across like 300 frames. That's no good.
Yeah,
Like,
limited animation is fine when there's, like you say, in the hands of a talented director.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I would say less is more to OtaKing, because...
Ha! I'm gonna do 100 frames and you're gonna like it.
Yes, tell us the Pocari news. Have you drank all your Pocari?
Not all of it, no, because it's a pretty big. It's the beaker for the blender, so I just fill that up with water and Pocari. So I got a lot of it, and it would make me a fat water-filled bastard. It would shame the Fremen of Arrakis if I drank all of that.
I'm having tamarind juice. I haven't had it in a long time. It is so good.
Oh.
Would recommend.
What does it taste of?
Have you ever had tamarind?
No, so I have no idea.
Oh, it's super good. I used to have a tree of that growing up in my backyard, and yeah, we would just gorge ourselves on sour, sweet fruit with giant seeds in it. Yeah, would recommend.
I see. Well, we've been going for 3 hours, so I mean we can call it a night if you want.
Oh yes, we could. We could meet up in VR chat.
We could meet up in VR chat.
And guide people around the Blockbuster.
And we can all have a look at Blockbuster. I don't know. There's 24 people in chat apparently. Are any of you interested in meeting up in VR chat and talking about old stuff? What do you think? No, I refuse to go into the animation sweatshop. Do you need my name on VR chat so that you can friend me and join us?
No, they can just look for the world under your name.
They can, but we might not be there is the thing. Because if I make a friends plus instance so a bunch of random people don't come in, then they won't be able to get in.
No, we want the randos. I like the randos.
Okay, I see. So we'll just look at the arcade, and the one with the most people in will be there then, I guess.
Sure, or just come and find us.
And remember, the real friends were the frames we in between along the way. It's true.
Okay, well, then thank you for joining us, chat.
Thank you for joining us. We enjoyed having your company.
Yes.
And we'll see you over on the VR chat then, alright?
Okay, have a great night. And I hope you all get lots of rain.
Yes, all of you get rained on. Bye then.